Are you a lawyer or legal professional that's itching to use AI, but you don't want to lose your bar license? Did you know there have been lawyers and law firms that have been sanctioned thousands of dollars for using AI incorrectly? In this video, we discuss 5 ways on how to use AI without ruining your legal career or losing your law license. I'm attorney Dwayne Hobson, practicing law for almost 10 years. Let's get started. All right, tip number one. This one's plain and simple, and you would think every lawyer or law firm would do this. There have been law firms that have been sanctioned for not doing this. Very simple thing. Tip number one is concerning when you do legal research with AI like ChatGPT or any other legal AI program, and it gives you search results. And so it's simple. Don't be lazy. When you use AI to perform legal research and the AI gives you cases, research the cases. Simply Google the cases and make sure they are real cases. Plain and simple, but it's hard to believe there's record of lawyers and law firms not even searching to make sure the cases that AI has gave them in legal research is real or not. The reason why sometimes real cases do not pop up in search results because number one, you either prompt incorrectly, or number two is the AI is hallucinating. Citing these fake cases can lead to Rule 11 sanctions. Nobody wants that. That could put you at risk to get, reported to the bar and to pay money. Take 30 minutes and just make sure that each case that the AI research gave you is real. Time for tip number two. This goes with number one. Make sure that the cases that in your search results actually state what the AI is saying they state, and they actually reference your case situation. For instance, I've done legal research on AI programs, and so sometimes you get results, and the AI say this case, John versus Doe, so discuss that this issue is in your favor. Okay, it's like a good case. You click the case, you search to make sure the case is real. The case is real, so you got step one out the way. The case is real. Number two, you start to read the actual case. Man, this case has nothing to do with the research that I'm doing. And that's so annoying. It still does that to this day. So if you use ChatGPT or any other research program, make sure the case they are citing in the results is not on the real. But number two, make sure that the case actually is related or related to what you're talking about. And also make sure the case actually says what the AI search result is saying that it says. Because lots of times I do research and the case doesn't even say what the AI research saying it does. Also, you want to make sure there's a good case. I'm doing AI research and the AI gave me cases in support of my side, but you go read the case, the people that got fast like my case lost. I can't use this case. I can use it to give me some law, but the law they give me doesn't support me trying to win. And so this search results gave me a case that's gave me a real case. It actually says it in there, but then I look at the case and the result was bad. So if I give this case to a judge and use it to support my argument, then everybody reads the case like, man, the people lost in the case using this argument that this lawyer has used. So make sure that the case actually says what it says in the AI results. Make sure that it's relevant to what you're talking about, and also make sure it's actually a good case. And if you're enjoying this video so far, please take time to like and subscribe to this video. I really appreciate that. All right, let's get back to the video. Number three, this is really important, really important. This could really help you save you from bar complaints. Make sure that the AI program you are using is not training on your data. More specifically, especially if you're using like a cloud-based AI platform like ChatGPT that's not locally hosted. So most AI platforms is used on cloud servers. And AI gets smarter and give people better results by training off other people's searches, people feeding it in the web. If you are searching a prompt and you include some personal information of your client, specifically about their case, then AI is publicly storing that data. That could put you at risk to break some confidentiality rules. And you don't want to do that. This is a big no-no. So I would suggest, no, not suggest, I highly recommend that when you do these AI prompts, do not use any personal information of the client. When you do your search results, you might say, the prompt might be something like, hey, what are exceptions to filing this document late? Just keep it simple. Don't say the client's name. Don't say what happened in the case, anything like that. Just say the issue. Do not use personal information of the client or personal information pertaining too specific to the case. Of course, your issue is going to be very specific when you're researching. But if you're a good lawyer, you know how to do legal research without specifically saying everything that's happening in your case. Okay? Now, the main way to stop AI from training on your search prompts is in the settings with ChatGPT. You specifically can go to the settings and stop AI from training on your data. Just do a simple Google search, and 9 out of 10 times, Google will show you how to do that. I've done it with ChatGPT. I'm gonna show you how to do it in a second. All right. The best way to really stop AI from training on your data publicly is to hire an IT company, an IT professional to create you a local server to host your AI programs locally. And that way, your prompts will only be in the office and you own the data that the AI is training on and the data that you input. And that's less risk. But I still wouldn't put clients' personal data on it, but it's much safer. All right. So, this is how you stop AI from training on your data on ChatGPT. It's pretty simple. You go right here to the settings. You want to go to data controls. Then on data controls, you got improve the model for everyone. And you want to turn it off. And when you turn it off, ChatGPT will not train with using your data. All right. All right. Number four, you want to learn how to become a great prompter when researching. Okay. Prompters basically being good at asking the AI questions. And so you want to be real specific with your question. Of course, don't use no personal data. I like to ask the AI a question and tell me to give me answers using only real cases and real statutes and real laws. And do not give me any fake cases or fake statutes or do not make any cases. When you do that, that helps make the AI give you more specific answers. So the AI wants to give you a great answer, and so it will hallucinate. It has a great chance of hallucinating if you don't give it more specific prompts. But give this prompt, you're stretch instructing the AI to give you real answers. And so I like using it or not. So work on being a better prompter. I'm going to show you a good example of a great prompt. This is what I consider what's a good prompt. Okay, let's just say I got a process serving issue. Can I ask for an extension of time to serve service of process in Mississippi Circuit Court when it is past the 120-day deadline? Please give me the answer using real cases, real legal cases, real statute, and real laws. Do not give me an answer using fake laws or cases. So this is a good prompt. I'm asking exactly what I want. Saying, give me the answer using real legal cases, real statute, real laws. Do not you give me fake things. So searching the web, and bam, it gives me the search results, tells me the rule. This is the actual rule. So good calls. And you really can't always trust the answer because good calls is before, but after the 120 days, it's got to be, I think, excusable neglect. So you can't always trust the answer 100%. Then you give me some cases. Look, just see if it's real right here. Let's copy. Let's copy. Make sure it's real. Everybody's giving me AI. Okay, everybody's trying doing AI. I just want to know the case real. It's like the case right here. Was it Johnson versus Thomas? Now you see how long that took? Took like 5 minutes just to make sure this case is real. That's all you gotta do. Make sure the case is real. Now you want to read it and make sure it's saying this in this case, or the case you can derive this from reading the case. Well, I'm not gonna go through all this. I just want to give you a good example of making a good prompt. All right, number five, last but not least, those without saying that New York case got in trouble. It's don't allow the AI program to draft the whole responsive pleading for you. You only want to let the AI help you in research. But if it drafts the plea, number one, AI doesn't know how to do form. The form that the AI gives you would be just incorrect. It's not gonna be how you specifically do it. Now you can train AI to make it form like you want to, but it's gonna take a lot of training. Then a lot of times it's not gonna be right. Number two, on why you don't want the AI to draft pleadings for you. A lot of times AI responses are unhuman like. I don't think that'd be good legal writing. You could take it and of course paraphrase it. Number three is like I mentioned earlier, sometimes AI answers really they don't understand the nuance of a good legal argument. Okay. And so that is three reasons why we're not let AI draft a legal pleading. As of right now, I want to recommend you start your legal research with AI. Don't let it draft legal pleadings. It make a draft pre-litigation documents for you that's not going to be filed in court. So if there's an error in that, then you're not going to get sanctioned. But anything that's going to be filed in court, AI is just not there yet. Now, I do believe AI will get there in the future, and AI legal research has gotten way better in the last 3, 4 years with ChatGPT and a lot of these legal programs. We use fast cases and still not at a good point where it could draft legal pleadings, answers to legal pleadings. So I would definitely not do that. All right, let me show you an example of why I don't want to draft a legal pleading. Using our example earlier, I want to show you an example of why I don't think you should use AI to answer legal pleadings. Please write me a motion for extension of time to serve process using the search results provided as a basis for the motion. All right. It's not a bad motion, but this format is not right. It's almost kind of right, but it's not how not how I would do it. And then right here it comes now, yada yada yada. This is an okay format, but this is more like a simple, not a simple motion, but a simpler motion. But I still would just copy and paste it, especially with these statutes in here. I would not statutes, just case law in here. I would copy it and search, make sure they're real. It's not a bad format, but it's not the format I would use. But I still don't think it's ready for prime time yet. It's not ready for prime time to be used. Okay, so with these tips, I hope this helps you be more competent when doing AI searches and using AI thoroughly. AI is a great research tool. Let's just not let it cost us our jobs, bar license, and our professional career. It should not be your only tool. Now, I don't think it's at the level where it replaces your whole research methods that you learn in law school. And so, if you like this video, check out another video where I discuss should we use AI for legal advice. I'm Attorney Dwayne Hobbs. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see y'all on the next one.